Let me show you an alternative to PowerPoint. So we've looked at how great PowerPoint can be, but it's a singular file. It lives on our computer, and there's a lot of great dynamic Web 2.0 resources that are out there as well. And one that I've been using recently is called Prezi. Has anyone heard of Prezi before? Let me spell it for you. The way you spell it is, delete those, P-R-E-Z-I. So it's just Prezi.com. It's a free website, and something that's terrific is that they have educational benefits. So if you sign up as an educator, you get additional storage space. So a free user gets to use a certain amount of storage space. A paid user gets to use more, and they make you a paid user for free as an educator. So we love that, right? All right. So let me take you to Prezi. I have my Prezi open over here. And what Prezi does is it kind of takes away that idea of slides, moving from one slide to another. The easiest way to think about it is really as a concept map. And within that concept map, you can create any sort of design or path between ideas that you want. So I have a couple different examples. They can be as simple or as complex as you want. This is one that I put together on Web 2.0 resources. So don't worry about what it's saying. I want you to look at the feel of it. So let me go ahead and... The way it works is I have my play button at the bottom. Let me get it back and I can really show it to you in presentation mode because it can be full screen, which is one of the things I really like. Oh, more. Full screen. Full screen. They changed that interface just recently.
Yeah, they did.
Thank you, Kyle Schutz. Way to go, Kyle. All right. So the cool thing about it is that it really kind of plays around with scale. So you don't have to worry about, sometimes in PowerPoint it's, is this font as big as this font? You get really kind of tangled up in the sizing and the details. And what Prezi does is it really sort of makes you think differently about things. So some of the things that you can do is you can create it so that it zooms in and out. So no matter what size your text is, if you create it to be a focus, it will just zoom right in on it. So I'll show you if I move around some. I talk about Wikipedia, and then if you notice, there's some teeny tiny words down here. We'll come back to those a little bit later, but you'll see that as I move around, it automatically resizes. So if my text is smaller, it makes it into full screen. And that was that small text, so it makes it large. So it gives a really interesting feel. Some other examples that I have look pretty cool. This was one that was created with the help of the Prezi people. So that's why it looks so particularly good. But Discovery Education worked with them to create an image that looks like a classroom, and then inside it, you're basically flying into that classroom and taking a look at some different technology ideas. So we're going to go into this classroom, and we can take a look at the calendar, and it will zoom right into the calendar and tell us what time it is, what's going on in the day. It's before you get to work, or you're just getting to work. You're checking out, what you're going to be doing for the day. So it shows what's going on the computer, and then moves from that spot in our classroom and talks about some other things, maybe some posters that you have. Gives us another one. So you're actually flying into that classroom, and so you're able to zoom in and out. So it's created that kind of virtual environment. That's another way to use Prezi.
I'm not sure I understand what Prezi is for.
It's great for presentations. I would say is probably its main use. So if students are working as an alternative to PowerPoint, they may want to use something like Prezi. One of the advantages is that it is entirely web-based. So we talked about the complications of working with PowerPoint, that you have to have that digital kit that goes with you everywhere. With Prezi, since it's web-based, you can just log in from any computer and continue your work. So that's a benefit for students. as you start using it, we could play around with it some, or we can, maybe after the session, if anybody's interested, I can show you a little bit more. One thing to know is, the way I felt at least, is that it's a little bit, if you're right-handed, you know, you're used to eating dinner, working with Prezi is kind of like moving to your left hand. It's like, I know how to do this, but it just sort of makes your brain think a little bit differently. You have to kind of take a twist on some of the things that you would traditionally think about a presentation tool like PowerPoint.
Is it like PowerPoint, it gets to a certain place it stops?
Yeah.
Or you have to, you have to tap it. Or
Exactly.
click
I think it has some autoplay options, so it can move through all of those things automatically.
Mhm.
But like presentation, like PowerPoint, you're the one, you know, clicking it forward and moving it to the next object. Yeah.
You can embed sounds and videos.
You can embed video. It takes Flash files as its video, so you can embed Flash. You can embed documents, though. You can embed PDFs or Excel spreadsheets or Word files as well.
Do you think fourth, fifth grade would be able to use it?
That would be pushing. I would say probably middle school and up. Although nowadays kids are so tech savvy, they are digital natives that, you know, it felt like this for me, but they're like, yeah, whatever, you know. They might just take to it like fish to water. So maybe starting out on some simple projects with them, they can use it. One of the things it does is it has a zebra. It has kind of a one-spot control, and it has a fun name like a zebra, so kids might really like using something like that.